Hey y'all, Jamie here, proud 55-year-old trans woman from New Orleans. So, where last I left off? Well, my stepfather, Jerry Lynn, had been terrorizing us. Me, my mother, my two sisters. My mother was trying to leave him. We were on the run. We were hiding. I was changing schools. This man, if you've been watching my videos, had terrorized me, had sexually assaulted me on numerous occasions when I was 5 to up until she left when I was 6 going on 7. When I was about 7, right around when I turned 7 was when it stopped finally. She finally got away from him and we were on the run. And it was sketchy, He found us. I was at my father's and he found us, and my mother called my father in the middle of the night. My dad said, "Come on, we got to go." We went to the apartments. Jerry Lynn had busted in the door. My mother thought it was on top of one of my sisters, my little baby sister that was like 2 years old, Deanne. And he threw a television set at my mother's head, okay? And my mother, it missed her and it went out the window. We were on the second floor. It went out the window and it landed on the hood of somebody's car in the parking lot. And that's how the police got involved. And, they took him to jail. But here's the thing with those MAGA boys. A lot of them have the boys in blue in their family. And Jerry Lynn's brother was a Louisiana state cop. And, well, he was a cop. He later on he became a state cop, like a higher up state officer. But I'm not sure if he was local back then or not. I really don't remember, honestly. All I know is that his brother Ronnie, he got him out of trouble all the fucking time. Every time he did something, he got him out of trouble. And, part of my childhood was going to pick this son of a bitch up out of jail on weekends when he would get drunk and high and get into fistfights in bars and, like, a good MAGA man. um, and so, yeah, we were on the run. He found us that time. They took him to jail, but he got back out. And my mother ran to my great grandmother's house. Okay. My great grandmother lived in a little town in Louisiana called Gonzales. And my great grandmother had married a man named Dewey Gonzales, who was a member of the founding family of the town. Now, I called her Mama Gonzales, my great grandmother. So we were at my Mama Gonzales's house, and, you know, my father was trying to buy a house, right? My real father was trying to buy a house, and my mother begged him to co sign for her car, a little piece of shit green Chevy Vega, little puke green Chevy Vega. And so he signed for her to get this car. He lost the house because of it. He didn't get proof for the house because of it. He was very, very bitter about that for a long time. So me and my mother and my sisters are in this little green Vega, and we're in Gonzales, and we're on the I-10, right? And we're going towards Baton Rouge. And Jerry Lynn sees us on the highway. He's been following us. And this time, he has a bag of dead crows. Where the fuck he got them? Your guess is as good as mine. He obviously went and shot them. And he had a garbage bag of dead crows on the passenger seat next to him on the car, and he drove up next to us on the interstate. And this crazy son of a bitch started throwing dead birds at the windshield of my mother's car, screaming at her to pull the fuck over. And my mother was screaming at him to please just leave us alone. My little sisters are screaming in the back seat. I'm in the passenger seat. And he threw one bird too many, hit the windshield, freaked my mother out, and off the interstate we went. And that little piece of shit Vega ended up on cinder blocks in Gonzales after that. And my mother and my sisters and myself were okay physically. Physically. I stress physically, not mentally or emotionally or spiritually or anything like that. And so the next move that we made, my mother tried to run to Houston, Texas. Okay. And, I turned 7 while we were in Texas. I was 7 years old at this point, that we had been on the run. And my mother would, when we were in Houston, she got a little apartment and she had to work. Obviously, she went to work at a dance studio, like teaching dance lessons. And while she was working, she would leave me alone with my sisters. And I would be in charge of watching them. At 7 years old, I was babysitting. And I had to make them lunches. I had to make them breakfast. I had to watch them. I had to change diapers on Deanne. She wasn't fully potty trained at that point. And so, that was what was going on, and I was taking them to the swimming pool, things that little kids should not be alone doing. Really, seriously, we were walking across a big major four-lane street to go to Wendy's for lunch sometimes. Like, really, we were doing dangerous things for little kids to be on their own doing. But at any rate, Jerry Lynn found us again. He found us again. And he terrorized my mother to the point, after about a year of being on the run and this, that, and the other, my mother hit her breaking point. She had been beaten. She had been terrorized. She had been called every name in the book. She had had her children kidnapped from her. She didn't even know that I was being sexually assaulted. I never spoke about that until I was 31 years old. Because when you have a gun to your head at 5 and somebody telling you don't ever speak of this, you kind of hold on to that. But at any rate, my mother abandoned us. She abandoned me and my sisters with my dad. And she dropped us off with him, and my mother was like, singing this song to me in the car about you and me against the world, and telling me that this was temporary, that she had to figure some things out. And she left us. And then my father gave my real father, gave my sisters over to Jerry Lynn. Just handed them over to Jerry Lynn. And if y'all want to know what happens next, y'all know the routine. Be here tomorrow and I will too. I love you all. I love you all for watching, and I love you for the comments. And y'all please like and post, repost, share this. TikTok is trying to suppress the trans creators for some reason. Post this as much as you can. Thank you. Love y'all. Bye-bye.